Welcome to Retirement Decoded with your host, Scott Tucker, where we break down the complexities of retirement planning to give you clear, actionable advice. Whether you're just starting out or getting ready to retire, Scott's here to help you make informed decisions and secure your financial future. Tune in each week as we simplify the process and decode the path to a stress-free retirement. Now, here's your host, Scott Tucker.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Retirement Decoded podcast with Scott Tucker. I'm your host, Scott Tucker. And here we are today with Associate Advisor Andre Hootie. Say hello, Andre Hootie.
Hello, Andre Hootie.
We always have to disclaim that Max Wren has not been fired from yet another podcast job. He's simply on assignment.
Exactly.
Not that he's had another podcast job, but
it's the first one. But he could get fired from the podcast.
You never know. You never know. It's things are rough out there nowadays. So we have a question in the listener mailbag today, Andre. It comes from Mike, and Mike says, Andre, I keep hearing that the One Big Beautiful Bill Act extended some tax breaks, but others still end in 2026. How do I know if I should be doing Roth conversions now or wait until, I'm not sure if I'm reading this right. How do I know if I should be doing Roth conversions now or should I be waiting? Some words were missing, Mike. How do I know, should I be doing Roth conversions now or should I be waiting to see what Congress does next year and beyond? What do you think about that, Andre Hootie?
Well, tax planning, things like Roth conversions, should never be put off for longer. I mean, you want to have a good strategy of how you're going to do that. It's not all going to be done in 1 year, but I would not wait to see what Congress does because it's only going to get worse.
That's optimistic.
Yeah, I mean the debt levels have gotten out of control. It's unlikely that we get that under control anytime soon. And the best easy button for Congress to hit is raise your taxes.
Taxes on your IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, deferred comp, TSP, SUP, Simple KEO. I might have forgotten some. There's a lot there.
Yeah. And in the right now, at least, you know what the tax rate is today. So if you do some tax planning, you know what you're paying. But if you just put this off for another 5, 10, 20 years, you're taking a gamble as to what the tax rates are going to be in the future. And for all we know, they could be double the rates what they are today. They could be triple. We don't know.
Yeah. So Mike said, I keep hearing that the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, and that was signed into law July 4th. 2025, extended some tax breaks. So what it extended, Mike, is it extended the Trump tax cuts. The Trump tax cuts that were passed in 2017 that became effective in 2018, they were going to expire at the end of 2025. They're now made permanent. But Andre, what could happen in 2028?
In 2028, we can have all those tax laws repealed.
Well, not quite yet. In 2028, Vice President Vance could poop the.
You're right. Yeah,
he could poop on the sheets.
Yeah,
and then so he could. That's when he could lose the election, and who knows what else could happen in Congress. And so January 20th. It's like a civics lesson here. January 20th, 2029, we could have a new Congress, a new president. Well, we will have a new Congress either which way. Every 2 years is a new Congress. We could have a new president, maybe from a different party. Not probably, maybe from a different party. And they could repeal the One Big Beautiful Bill Act of 2025 as soon as, January, February, somewhere 2029.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of my favorite sayings I've ever heard is that the tax code is written in pencil.
Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it said, so Mike said, extended some of the tax breaks. And he said, but other tax breaks end in 2026. Actually, some tax breaks end in 2028 now, Mike, and some end in 2029, which is, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So there are a lot of the tax breaks. So as far as the tax rates, the federal tax rates, Mike, on your tax-deferred retirement accounts like IRA, 401k, 403b, deferred comp, TSP, SUP, Simple KEO, those tax rates are permanently extended under the Trump tax cuts deal, but the One Big Beautiful Bill Act of 2025 could be repealed as early as 2029, so all that could be out the window. But there are, in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act of 2025, there are some tax breaks in other areas of the tax code that expire at the end of 2028. Because again, Andre, what's happening in 2028?
And we have another election.
Yeah, and so probably I would expect Vice President Vance would probably be the Republican nominee, and he may or may not win. And then, and of course, we don't know who might be the Democratic nominee, and they may or may not win. Then there's the whole thing where every 2 years Congress changes somehow or another. Of course, every 2 years the entire House of Representatives can change, and every couple of years, the Senate control typically can change every 2 years, even though they're 6-year terms because they're all staggered. But you've got taxes on sale right now, Mike, is what we're thinking. So from now through 2028, we know the Trump tax cuts are permanent. Yeah. 2029, we don't know what happens.
Permanent in quotes.
If you have a crystal ball, Mike, get on our phone calendar at tuckerretirement.com. At tuckerretirement.com, Mike, you or any podcast listener can see our phone calendar. Click and pick a time for free. We'll spend 15 minutes for free with you over the telephone in the coming week. Andre, we'll get Mike's questions answered.
And his answers questioned.
At tuckerretirement.com. So he also says, Mike had some more rambling questions here. Everybody does. So Mike said, Andre, how do I know if I should be doing Roth conversions now, or should I be waiting to see what Congress does next year and beyond? So what you said earlier, Andre, about the Roth conversions, generally when we have a low tax rate regime, as we do now, and we have $37 trillion of debt, we're still borrowing $3 trillion a year. So the idea that the tax rates go lower is probably a pipe dream. So do you think, and we're not giving you specific advice, Mike, to you, Mike, or to any other Mikes or people who know a person named Mike or anybody else listening to the podcast, but a Roth conversion generally better done sooner than later, question mark?
Are you asking me or are you asking Mike?
Well, I'm not asking Mike. He's not.
Yes, generally, I would say yes. And everybody's mileage varies.
Yeah.
But it's tax planning is something. If you have tax deferred money, if you've been saving, like most of our clients and most of the people we work with, they've been saving in tax deferred accounts all their life, and they've built up sizable balances over their life. If you haven't done tax planning, the IRS is going to come knocking, and you're going to pay their bill.
So, Andre, it's not that we tell our clients to save tax deferred. It's that they did that before they met us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then they met us and they started doing tax planning.
It's kind of like, Andre, you and I are both taken by our respective ladies, but it's kind of like you remember when you were dating, Andre? Mm-hmm. Say if you met a girl and she got tattoos before she met you. You know those girls that have too many tattoos?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't get to meet your parents, do they?
No.
And I know it's awkward now because now you're married and Lauren hears this. She's like, what? But some people have ideas before they meet you.
Yeah.
And then they have new ideas. They say, oh, yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah.
So not stupid, but we're happy that our clients, when they were not clients, we're happy that they saved. But what happened with baby boomers and Gen X folks before they met us is everything was set up for, especially for baby boomers, everything was set up for decades. Well, just put it in tax deferred, take the tax deduction, and then you'll be in a lower tax bracket in retirement.
The biggest lie ever told.
It's almost as big a lie as fat-free cookies.
Yep. Or I read the terms and conditions.
Those with like the iPhone software license, whatever it is.
Yeah, I read through 1,200 pages.
I read the terms and conditions. Oh boy. Yeah. Or I'm just gonna have one beer.
Yep.
Oh goodness. How do I know if I should be doing Roth conversions now, or should I be waiting to see what Congress does next year and beyond? Betting what Congress might do next year or beyond. There's been times too when we think we know what all the future is. I remember back in 2019. Do you remember how hot the job market was in 2019 and nobody could find anybody to hire? No. And then what happened in spring of 2020? Everybody got laid off, or they were lucky. I mean, some people got PPP loans. Some people were just told, get out of here.
No.
Because the employer had to take a lot of risk on the PPP loan. That they had to spend it on rent and wages. And then, that's a whole nother thing. But we can't tell the future, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
No crystal ball.
No, you can't. And at the point when you realize you should have done something, it's probably too late.
Yeah. Then it's like that, the tattoo removal.
Yeah, exactly.
Tattoos are cool. They're given the right context. Like if you work at I have a friend who, my cousin, he doesn't have tattoos, but my cousin was for many years. He was an auto mechanic at a Saturn dealership and then a Chevy dealership. And in that realm, the more tattoos, the better. Tattoos, the better, if I could speak. Or if you're like a Harley mechanic or something like that. But then there are certain, like in our line of work as financial planners, people don't really want to, they don't want you get tattoo your eyelids, right, Andre?
No, I don't know if they take too kindly.
But if you're a bouncer at a heavy metal bar in downtown Chicago somewhere, then the more tattoos, the better.
Pay him extra.
Pay him extra.
Looks scary.
I like tattoos. I don't have I don't have any tattoos. I don't have the patience to sit in the chair.
Yeah.
If you could just snap your fingers like a Photoshop, you could have them, then not have them. Have them, not have them. But that's what they call them, tattoos.
Yeah.
They do have those tattoo shirts.
They do, don't they?
Yeah, with the fake tattoo sleeves.
Yeah, well, you could also do those kids tattoos. You get the wet paper towel, put it on the back.
I used to do that when I was a kid.
Yeah, they used to have the quarter machines. I used to do that all the time. My mom hated it.
Yeah, so we're delving into other territory with goofy stories. But I used to belong when I used to live in the city, and this is before I met Natalie. I used to live in the city, in Roscoe Village and Lakeview in Chicago, and I used to belong to the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign War. You know what I mean, the VFW. And longtime listeners of the podcast will know that I'm a Navy veteran. I spent 5 years in the United States Navy, and so at one point I belonged to the VFW, and there was a chapter, the Logan Avondale chapter. So it's like Logan Square and Avondale, two neighborhoods in Chicago, and they had some kind of a fundraiser event or something or other. And I was talking to, there's some Chicago police officers there that were also veterans that were also members. And so, you'd have a beverage over there and talk to each other and stuff. And the one police officer for CPD, he said he was doing some buy bust stuff, buy drugs. So, I don't know, but you buy drugs from them for so long and then you bust them. Then you have to buy 3 times and then you can get a warrant and bust them, or I don't know, arrest warrant, search warrant, whatever. But he had a thing, because you can't just roll up in an unmarked police car and convince anybody.
Right. I mean,
I'm here to buy drugs. I'm here. Do you have any illegal drugs?
Everybody.
I have $20. I have $10, whatever it is. So yeah, I was thinking about that tattoo shirt thing. So he had one of those tattoo shirts. So it has like a T-shirt with the fake kind of nylon thing that goes over your forearm, makes it look like you have full sleeve tattoos.
Right.
And he had they get these. DEA mostly, I guess, gets these cars that they seize, and then they turn them over to different departments in different parts of the country. Like they might seize a car in Indianapolis, and they might have Chicago police use it, or they might seize a car in Chicago and have Minneapolis police use it. Like they move it far enough away that it doesn't get recognized. Okay. But the cop said, he goes, yeah, so I got one of these. I've been doing undercover buy bus. He's probably telling me stuff he shouldn't tell me, but he knew. He can kind of pick up that I was on the straight and narrow, The cops are good about reading people like that. He goes, yeah, so I go on the west side and I do these buy busts, and I have one of those tattoo shirts, with the fake tattoos on the sleeve. And we have one of these cars that was an asset seizure from somewhere else in the country. And it was one of those, do you ever see that Chevy pickup truck that was the 454 SS? You ever see that? It's a really big V8 engine in a truck that's not giant. It's a gas engine, a 454 SS. Like SS means super sport. I
think I need to see a picture. I'm sure I've seen them.
Yeah, I don't think they've made them in a long time. But he goes, yeah, I got this 454 SS, black pickup, and I come down the street and I got the music blaring. This was a drug seizure car, so the stereo is louder than heck. It's got like an aftermarket stereo. Right. And he's like, I come down the street to buy, and he's like, I got my arm out the window as I come down, but then as I get close, I put my arm back in the window so they don't notice that it's not real tattoos. Oh, yeah. And then he said the guy would be like, are you a cop? He was like, Effenheimer, you call, what the blankety blank you call me? So he's giving insults to the guy selling. Right. And the guy's like, all right, man, all right,
all right, chill.
So you have like one guy takes the money, and he's like drive around the corner, out of the view of the cameras or whatever might view here to there. So one guy takes the money, go around the block, the other guy gives you the product, and then he had to do that like 3 times, and they had to somehow figure out how to video record it and everything. And
wow, that's intense.
Yep. So that goes with my tattoo story. That's the tattoo story. See that police officer, he didn't want to get tattooed either. Nowadays, that was probably 15, 17, I think 17 years ago. I'm trying to think. It was around 2008, I think. So it's probably about 17 years ago. Nowadays, tattoos with police officers are left, right, and every 6 ways from Sunday. Right. Even the military has loosened up the tattoo policy. They used to get in trouble getting a tattoo.
Really?
When
I thought that was a standard.
Well, I was in the Navy in the early 90s, and they were anti-tattoo. And then I think a lot of the Iraq, Afghanistan stuff, and they started giving like tattoo waivers for people who were coming out of high school or college that had tattoos, and they were like, well, if you can pass the ASVAB, the vocational aptitude battery, or, you know, if you're smart enough to do the job and you haven't been in trouble, we'll take you with the tattoos and we'll send you to Afghanistan. You're welcome.
Because the tattoos are what's stopping.
Free trip to Southwest Asia. You're welcome.
Yeah, well,
or Iraq.
Whichever
one you like.
So the movies have lied to me. Not all Navy SEALs have tattoos.
Nowadays, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. You know, there's a thing. So more story time, because I get bored talking about just retirement stuff. Before I tell you about the SEALs, I should tell Mike. Should you be doing Roth conversions now? Generally, you should, because if you picture a Slinky, remember that toy from the, 70s, 80s, Mike? I don't know how old you are. I'm 52. So back in the late 70s, early 80s, there's a Slinky. If you picture that Slinky, if you have a traditional IRA and you pull that thing towards the sky, that's growing your money in a tax deferred account, and you're growing the taxes. You're kind of growing the tumor. So say if you were 200 pounds and you had a tumor for like 1 pound, you say, well, I'll just add 50 pounds to my weight. What if the tumor goes from 1 pound to 2 pound to 3 pound? It's getting worse.
Yeah.
So kind of the taxes in your tax deferred accounts are there too. So Roth conversion sooner than later generally. But go to tuckerretirement.com, get in our phone calendar for free at tuckerretirement.com, and we'll spend some time with you over the telephone this week for free and figure it out. So about the Navy SEALs. So one thing about the SEALs is they're kind of a clandestine special warfare deal.
Yeah.
And so they don't want them looking like regular military, and they also don't want them sticking out too much.
Okay. So
they'll have them grow beards, grow their hair longer in the back and around the ears, wear an earring, have a tattoo, which nowadays tattoos don't quite indicate that you're not in the military. But yeah, so they would have them do different things like that.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, they are, they have to be a little bit different than the rest of the military, right?
They're supposed to be where if they all get killed, you can't tell where they came from. That's one part of it. So we had, when I was on the USS Theodore Roosevelt CVN 71, that was my second duty station. We would say we'd be in the Red Sea as one example. And the SEALs would get on the SH-60s, which are like a Black Hawk, but it's painted gray, so it's a Seahawk or whatever they called it. I think it was a Seahawk. It was a SH-60 back then. Now I think it's an MH-60 Romeo. Kind of different than it used to be. Same as it used to be, and different at the same time. But the SEALs, I'd be up on the flight deck waiting to load an encryption device. I was a Navy code breaker, cryptologist, and I volunteered to go on the flight deck to load these intelligence gathering aircraft with this encryption key that's like a top secret thing that not everybody can handle. So I go up there to do that. And I'm waiting for the next flight event and whatever. And then they have a helo, it's SH-60, and they have the SEAL Team Detachment Delta. I can't remember what SEAL team it was, but it was a detachment that rode our carrier. And so there's SH-60 with the main rotor turning and all that. And the SEALs come out there to get on the helo they would go do training in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, that's
every day.
That's normal. Okay, well, hey.
Well, they say in the DOD, or Department of War, as it were, the DOD has said regularly that every day we have special warfare from different branches active in 180 countries every day.
Yeah, that's that.
I'm not saying there's a military-industrial complex. I'm just saying. So the SEALs, what they wore at that time, they would wear a green zip-up, like an olive drab, like zip-up coveralls. They would wear Chuck Taylor's basketball shoes, those high tops, those Chuck Taylor's high tops.
Really?
Yeah, they were Chuck Taylor high tops, those Converse high tops, the zip-up olive drab flight suit, but they would take off, they'd have Velcro, and they'd take off all of the rank insignia, the SEAL Team Detachment Delta thing, all that Velcro would come off. They would have nothing on them that showed they were American. They would have like... I guess I'm trying to remember what they were now, but now you have you seen those mechanics gloves that are like heat resistant?
Yeah.
They'd have like mechanics gloves like that. They would have H&K MP5 9mm submachine guns.
That's some serious firepower right there.
Well, an H&K MP5 is a German submachine gun.
Oh, I did not know that's German.
Yeah, H&K is German. It's not American. And it's also those things are thousands of dollars, so that's an odd firearm for, not regular Army or Marine Corps aren't carrying that, and the Navy SEALs at that time had the H&K MP5s. They would have Protect skateboard helmets.
They really disguise them.
So they had, I guess from head to toe, they had Protect skateboard helmets. They had ski goggles, so like it would keep the sand and stuff out. Mm-hmm. And they'd have like the yellow lens usually. Sometimes they might have a tinted lens. And then they'd have the green flight suit with all the Velcro taken off. They'd have nothing on them showing they're American. Mechanics type of heat-resistant gloves, H&K MP5 German submachine guns, and then Chuck Taylor high-top basketball shoes, which you could get those high-top basketball shoes in Europe or anywhere. Right. So the only thing giving it away is they're coming in on a Navy Hilo.
Yeah. Not many places you're going to get that.
Oh, boy. But enough of that nonsense. So, Mike, why don't you get on our phone calendar at tuckerretirement.com, and we'll extend story time over there. But, Mike, the money you have in your traditional tax-deferred retirement accounts, you've never paid federal income tax on any of that money. The more you grow the account, the more you grow the tax obligation for Uncle Sam. Even you say, well, later on, I'm gonna keel over and leave it to my kids. You're going to leave your unpaid federal income taxes to your kids. Not a great way to go.
No, not the best.
If you're going to go, that's not a great way to go.
No, yeah.
There's
better ways.
Yeah.
We can help you.
Yeah. We could drop you off in Saudi Arabia on a skateboard helmet with a 9mm submachine gun.
You'll blend right in.
Well, eventually, everybody blends in. You get keeled over, and you're gonna blend in eventually. Yeah. So you've wasted yet another good 21 minutes listening to the ramblings of a short bald man, namely yours truly, Scott Tucker. And we'll talk to you on the next podcast.
Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. has a strategic partnership with tax professionals and attorneys who can provide tax and or legal advice. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. A Roth conversion is a taxable event and may have several tax-related consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA. The views and opinions herein are those of Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AEWM and Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. AEWM does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this podcast shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc.